sloppy sealed Saturday here in Maryland. Welcome to Today at the Races. Hello, guys. Callie Francois with Keith Fusel. Couple prices that we had with that weather yesterday, Keith. In the race number 4, 7 on the rocks for Billy Campbell. Xavier Perez, a $37.80 winner. The longest price, not the longest price of the day. Race number 6, Ellie Victorina, a $14.80 winner for Mario Saray and Georgie Hernandez. And in race number 7, the biggest price of the day was He's on Fire for Carlos Mencia. Axel Concepcion, a $47 winner at 22-1.
Yeah, middle pick 4, 35-34. I hope you had that one. Yeah, He's on Fire is a horse we used last time at a price. Didn't run a step. Came back yesterday, was aggressively ridden, got to the front, was able to dictate, took pressure, and held on at a big price. So the Mancia barn, we got a little stat in Sheffield. They're rolling right along right now. But Ellie Victorina, 1480. I got the good trip off the dual 7 on the rocks. The same thing. Horse off some time. But barn that doesn't run many horses anymore. Billy Campbell, always capable, dangerous, and got it done at a price. Was able, again, to work out a trip off a contested pace. Went by late with something left, actually.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the track, which is going to start, again, sloppy and sealed here in race number 1, which does kick off the early pick 5, and it also kicks off here right away. Race number 1 in this claiming 40 for the straight 3-year-old, going a one-turn mile on the dirt. Scratch in the number 2, Bo Ruff. Keith, you have the number 7 on top, Thunderian. For David Jacobson and J. Ron Barbosa on the outside, currently 6-1 right now.
Yeah, Thunderian, just a little bit of a tricky trip last time. That was first time gelding off of a break at Aqueduct and was used hard every step of the way. Rushed up into that flow, shifted out 4 wide. Yeah, couldn't kind of threaten the top 2 through the last eighth of a mile, but continued on willingly. Off track, distorted humor, you see that, you kind of run to the windows, you like that. This is a barn that has done well running horses on short rest. They've had success, Jacobson in the past, at Laurel, big prices. B West going to be a short price. I think Thunderian, looking at the breeding, they thought long all along with this guy. So maybe you can get a little bit more relaxed flow at this mile distance as opposed to the 6.5 at Aqueduct. Shot at a little bit of price to get you started. Indy Bound, again, another horse that showed hold a little value. I think he's a little bit leaning towards a sprint on the bottom side, off track, okay. I think he's faced the right kind, and he's improved, no doubt. I think he can move up second off the bench. I'm looking for a little value here with the 4 and the 7. I'll key around those 2 in exactus.
Keith Fusel goes 7-4-3-5 there in the start of the early pick 5. Race number 2 kicks off the early pick 4 as per usual. Keith, how does your ticket play out today?
Ticket's pretty light. 27, not terrible. Usually we're 24, but we're going to go 27. Too deep to get you started. Key scratch in the second. I like Shack in the box. We got that one late. So we'll go 2 and 3 to get you going. 1, 3, 6 in race number 3. Got first, it's interesting. Bandcamp. Race 4 with a 1, 3, and 5. Carmichael's Pioneer, we have a stat for that one. And race 5, 3 deep again with the 1, the 4, and the 6. Bernie's on Fire will be a threat with that speed from the inside. 27 for the early pick 4.
Ever consistent with his early pick 4s. This does start in the first leg of the early pick 4, race number 2 in this claiming 20,000 going. 7 furlongs on the dirt for the straight 3-year-old. Scratch in the number 4, General News, and scratch in the 9, Shack in the box. That was a big scratch for me. Keith, you land on the number 3 to the inside. Cavalry Command for Tim Salzman gets J.D. Acosta.
Yeah, it might be a little bit of a reach off time, but I like horses that can go ahead and win the debut. A little bit of drop off the break, but we're going to get the double whammy of first-time gelding and first-time Lasix. Ran against the right kind. Prior to that break, you see Coffee with Chris in the line. RB's the boss. So I'll take a shot. Off track is okay there. Lord Utrecht, now the road, it looks like it's going to go through him. He was able to control things 2 races back. Last time out had a little bit more pressure, was gritty, just got beat late. But I think he's going to like the flow here, moving out to 7/8 of a mile. Shorter price, definitely now for Jamie Ness.
What are your takes on Dart? Is Dart going to be able to handle this distance, probably assuming going to the lead, seeing as the 2 one-turn mile distances didn't work last time out?
Yeah, I think Dart is a horse that's going to take back. He could definitely make a little run from mid-pack against this group. No, but the 3 intrigues me. The 2 is clearly going to be the horse to run down.
Keith Fusel goes 3-2-6-8 in race number 2. Race number 3 is a maiden claiming 20,000, going 5.5 on the dirt. Scratch in the number 5. He's pure talent. Leaves with Long Rap Sheet to talk about. We've got a race from Long Rap Sheet back at Pimlico in the fall of 2022, carrying on from the gate.
One thing you try to avoid is a long rap sheet, right? So a little bit slow out of the gate. This is back for Dale Capuano, right, for Uncle Dale. Now we're going to go for Phil Capuano. A little hustle up after that beginning. And does get pretty good position and relaxes a bit around the turn. Has to stay in there 3 horses just to his outside. But all in all, I think after the break and the rush up, this horse held pretty well till about mid-stretch. Now, we haven't been seen since September 24th. First time gelding, first time Lasix, so really not like a protect move at all here. We're going to be aggressive off of it. I think with a cleaner break against this group, he's perfectly poised to kind of get to the front and go a long, long way. Certainly would not surprise me if he goes flagpole to finish. That's a double key race we're watching right there. Shack in the box. Even Bo Ruff has come back out of there to win. So I'll take a shot. Long rap sheet won't be a big price. Running River, your top pick. Yeah, I like that, Ken. You know, we're going to get Jamie Rodriguez today. Ran big in debut surprise at a big price at 20-1. Got some flow up top and came running. A little shortening up I don't think will hurt. And I tell you, Salzman Jr. of late, it's been very, very good with these maiden second time out. The maiden claiming variety 4 for 14 the last few years.
Also notably on March 10th, the gate work in between that for after that first time effort is sure to spice things up right out of the get-go for Running River. There we have it. John Salzman Jr., as you mentioned, 6'3", 144. Keith Fusel there in the third. In the fourth, we have another ticket, and we have Tim Tulloch's middle pick 4. Let's go ahead and take a look and see how that goes. He goes all. He hits the all button. Why not? 6 deep here in this claiming 10,000. 3 deep there in race number 5, 146. It makes perfect sense. I go for a bit of a price in there. Race number 6, he goes 2 deep with the 4 and the 6. Big Man Cannon Air Token with the drop down. And then he singles in race number 7 in that allowance optional claiming 62.5 on the 2. Tinseltown Tina for Benny Feliciano Jr. at a morning line price of 12-1. It's going to be interesting to see how that price comes up as the day goes on for race number 7. But let's get back to where that starts in race number 4 in the claiming 10,000 for the 4-year-olds, which have never won 2 races, going 5.5 on the dirt. Keith, we both have the 1 on top, and we also have a special Keith Fusel stat on the number 1, Carmichael's Pioneer.
There's a barn you pay attention to of late. Last 14 days here, 3 for 8, 38% with an ROI, a whopping 13.73. You saw he's on fire yesterday. Marvelous not too long ago in the stake. And this is a horse, you know, trouble in debut. We're going back to the spring, back in April. Bumped at the break, didn't really run at all. Came back at a huge price to get it done. Again, was a bad actor pre-race, but took pressure and gutted it out. Now, going to be protected with the waiver, okay, and not in for the tag. I like the way this barn's going. I like a horse that wins early, get put in the race early, and stays around here with the 1, Carmichael's Pioneer.
You also have the number 3 underneath Jebster for David Howard. Gets Rashawn Latchman. A decent effort last time out. Coming back again, returning to Laurel, but gets the 3 post akin to that outside post as long as this one doesn't get too keen early on.
Yeah, he was keyed up. He opened up, and then he met the bid and kept on going and held very well despite odds. Was able to wear him down. We're shortening up a little bit. Carmichael's Pioneer, my top selection, is going to have to be tied on out of the gate because the 3 is pretty quick and could separate himself from that rival if he's not ready. Another little breeding note on the 1. Talking about an off track, siblings are 4 for 4 in the money on the off going. So maybe holds a little bit of better price there for you with the 1. 10X is another one. I think he's going to get that prompting trip. Just needs to follow through.
Race number 5 kicks off the Rainbow Pick 6 for today. We have a carryover that's coming in for that Rainbow Pick 6. That is going to be climbing by the time we get to race number 5, where the Rainbow Pick 6 starts. My ticket looks a little bit like this. 148 here in race number 5, 2 deep. I couldn't find a single today for my ticket, so 2 deep in races 6, 8, 9, and 10. And then in race 7, I go 3 deep in there. That allowance optional claiming 62.5 between Liquidator, Miss Fussy Pants, and In Good Trouble. So we'll see how that carries on for the rest of the day. A $28.80 ticket just for a simple structure here for today's Rainbow Pick 6. That should have a little bit of a carryover here today, and especially with this handicapping tournament going on today as well. Welcome, guys. And in race number 5, this is a claiming 5,000 for the 4-year-olds and upward, going 6 furlongs here on the dirt. Keith, you have the number 6 on top, Manolite this one is within the Roberto Rosado, and son Johan Rosado is taking the call.
We got a little family connection here in race number 5. And again, welcome to everybody here for the Champions Handicapping Tournament. Saw them all coming in. The guys mean business. They're walking in. They've got their backpacks, computers. They're fired up and ready to go get the money. I like that. It's a challenge, and we'll see who comes out on top. A long day of handicapping and smart wagering, hopefully in store for you guys and girls, everybody involved. Looking forward to it. So, hey, yeah, race 5, there's going to be some serious pacing here with Bernie's on fire. And I think Pepe and Haywood, even Jimmy the Kid, who broke a little bit poorly last time, just wasn't really quite prepared for the break. Taking a shot. I guess 4th looks like the main, closer in here. I'm a little worried about this Jam Job, as this horse has got the numbers. He's got an A other than State Bred still available to him. He's probably going to find a new home, I would think. Manolete, though, comes out of the right kind of races. A double key last time at Parks. Has handled an off track. It's a 9-year-old horse that just keeps on grinding out over $400,000 in earnings. I think he's going to like what he sees up front. Just need Rosado save a little ground, maybe 2 or 3 wide around that turn. Hopefully things develop and he can fire over the top. I think the race is going to go through the one. Bernie's on fire. Rob is deadly with this kind of move. The last 3 years, 39%. Second off of a 60 to 180 day layoff on the dirt with an ROI of 226. He made that bid 3 deep. Wasn't quite as sharp, I thought, early last time. He'll be sent from the rail and goes a long way in here with the X-Man. Pepe and Haywood, interesting little drop. Barnes trying to pick it back up. Very game last time. Was his speed dull just a touch off the 7/8? We don't know.
I also like the consistency on a wet dirt on the outside move with that as well. And we'll be right back for the rest of the card, starting in race number 6.
And they're off.
Welcome back. We're going to get right back to it in race number 6, and the starter optional claiming 20,000, going 5.5 on the dirt for the 4-year-olds. Scratching the number 8, Lad Needs a Handler. He is entered tomorrow. Keith, you have the number 5 on top. Yeah. Savoy for your value play of the day. I had a feeling you were going to go. I just had a gut feeling you were going to go that direction in this race for Mario Saray Jr., Georgie Hernandez. They got a little bit of a price yesterday. Let's see what they can do today.
Yeah, Jorge Hernandez has come up here from the south and has gotten it done. So, yeah, we're looking, not a ton of mounts, but he's sitting on a horse here that's 3 for 6 on a wet track that is perfect at the 5.5 distance. It's coming off the eased comment. I love that, off the eased comment. Now we're going to drop down in for the tag, going to settle back off of this flow, which is going to be quick. Lad Needs a Handler. Some of the speed comes out, but I think Savoy is sitting here lurking at a price. To me, he's all or nothing. If he runs second, I'm going to probably get beat. I'm going to key him on top and then toss him. His race, 4 races back, was really, really good and got the best of Aristocratic on a muddy sealed surface. Those last 2 off-track drives are wins. I think the 3 holds a little value. Was kind of against the grain March 4th we talked about days. Closers were doing well. Got burned up in a pretty quick pace. Lad Needs a Handler coming out is going to help his chances. I think he stays around a little bit longer. Air Token's the one. What do you think of Air Token now going in for the 20? This guy's had a good career. If he holds these 80 numbers, I think he's going to be right there. Wouldn't be a surprise. Just interesting to see him put him in for the tag as good as he's been.
I think it's about time he's had the drop.
Okay.
So this is just the proper spot for him, despite the fact that he's been running well amongst these other fields today. But Air Token, it's the time for this to be done. I take a stab at Big Man Can for Damon Deal DeVico. I'm looking at a horse that's going to be eventually coming a bit on the upswing, and we do have a video of Big Man Can and Charge to Victory back on March 4th.
Yeah, Charge to Victory is down inside. Big Man Can in the red cap kind of caught in behind horses. Thanks, guys. And is going to work outside for this run. So both of them, I thought, might just make a little bit stronger impact that last 1/8 of a mile, especially on the track that was kind of helping you out a little bit from the backside, with that headwind that these speeds were running to. Willing efforts. They're going to get speed again to target. I think out in the clear, Charge to Victory might get the jump on a horse like Big Man Can, but he runs that race 2 back at 5.5. boy, he rolled by him that day. And like we talk about it before, Arojo, who's riding before, I like him on these closing sprinters. 5.634, shot in the dark here with Savoy. I mean, that last race, I think, is dirtied up enough where we're still going to hold a little bit of value.
Let's see if we can get a price in race number 6. Race number 7 is this allowance optional claiming 62.5 for the straight 3-year-old fillies going 7 furlongs here on the dirt. Let's go ahead and take a look right away at your top selection. Devil Pays in Gold. I'm back on March 10th from the mid-turn approaching to the top of the stretch.
Yeah, we had this filly first time out. She took plenty of play. I think I had her lined right around 3-7-2. I might have made her a slight favorite actually in here. And the horse that took a lot of play was the Ruth Ann on the front end at 2-1 for Cal Lynch, and is dictating the pace. Devil Pays in Gold, circling 4 and 5 wide. Never really had, any kind of a break. Lopez was into this filly probably, by the 3/8 pole. But I love the sheer and utter determination on a correct lead through the stretch, and she's able to run down this loose leader at 5.5 furlongs. Uncle Lino, we know how precocious these horses. They win early, they win often. Bottom side for Shet was a motion runner that was 2 for 2 on and off track. So hey, may not have to be used quite as hard to keep close today. But I like the just determined run that she made in debut.
Hopefully gets a little bit of a better trip today. You also include In Good Trouble on the rail for Bernard Dunham with Wesley Ho coming in from what I like is that this one had the speed at Charlestown, but then was able to transfer and carry over that into a bigger track at Penn. So we're just taking we're taking a bit of a step up here.
Yes.
But on the inside rail, trustworthy enough with that speed.
Yeah, this is a situation again where I think a lot of the money's going to come in on the 3 and the 4, Miss Fussy Pants and Liquidator. But lurking are some prices. So if you're later in the day, you kind of need a little bit of a price shot. I think the 1, the 7, even a horse like the 2. I know Tim used Tinseltown Terra. Tina, that horse has got a little shot. I will use Inexactus, no doubt. That was a nice improvement, was against the grain in debut. But going back to the 1 In Good Trouble, this is a barn that wins in bunches, is drastically improved on the barn change with the Lasix going on. I did go watch that race again this morning. Took pressure, dueled, shook clear. Moco Gold is a horse that keys up from here, the farrier runner. And I tell you, she shook clear and was just flashed the whip late, kept going okay. Flow's going to be just fine for her. This is a horse, major improvement for a barn that doesn't run, doesn't have a slew of horses. But when they get hot and they keep winning.
Speaking of one that's been getting a little bit hot is your current 9 to 5 morning line favorite, Liquidator, who you have underneath for Linda Albert. Made a nice inside rail bid last time out and was gutsy enough, just dueling head to head, pretty much all the way from the 8th pole down.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of Liquidator. I dropped that horse down, got the confidence for the maiden 20 win. Now has 4 wins under her belt. Really good last time. The 2-back try, she might have been a little too close. 7/8 works for her as well. Off track works for her. I think she's got a little bit more tactical speed right now than Miss Fussy Pants coming off that route. We shall see. They may run kind of close to as a team turning for home and looking to get that speed of In Good Trouble. This is a good horse race number 7. This is the first level allowance, right, for the fillies.
Both Miss Fussy Pants and Liquidator, 20% with their sires with their wet dirt progeny as well. So pay attention to that today. Race number 8 is an allowance optional claiming 62.5, going 7 furlongs on the dirt for the straight 3-year-old. Scratching the 1 left-hand thread and scratch the 2 Bic. Keith, you land on the number 3. You have got faith in the now rail horse in Heldish for Mike Maker. Gets Angel Cruz today.
Yeah, this is just one of the, again, looking for a little bit of a price. I got a gut feeling this horse might bounce back and he might run a good race. I don't know what happened last time. Yes, he was off a little slow, but he gave in a lot sooner than what I thought. But he's been given some time, a good string of workouts leading into this, and they're not giving up on the Son of Great Notion. I think, again, he's forward in here. He's got the right kind of horses that he's run against on his page. Recruiter, Johnny Z, I like that. So maybe they've got this guy figured out interesting. Another one that might be an all-or-nothing type. Either runs big or goes home. Johnny French Fry, like the way this one ran last time. First off the claim. Kind of a different change of tactics, though, right? This is a horse that had been a little bit keyed up sometimes, wanted to be to the front. Brittany gets it. Gomez rides, and this horse settles off of the pace of Bo's Bourbon at the 7/8 of a mile and is able to kind of cruise on up and win with something left. I thought this horse was really good this day, the way he followed through. Going to open up by like 4 1/4 when it's all said and done.
And there we go. There we have it. You change up a bit of pattern and you change up the mentality and you get results, especially with Brittany Russell with some of these, a couple of these claims that she's had. But you also include underneath the number 4. Lost Weekend. We didn't really touch too much on Lost Weekend. One that's always knocking at the door. You have to keep Lost Weekend up there in your mix.
Yeah, I think he's okay. Yeah, the muddy sealed surface try was not good. I mean, that's basically his worst race on the page. I don't think he's better than that. A little hang. 7/8. I think the flow's going to be good. He was trying last time, a touch of a hang. He's going to kind of be forward, I think, from the get-go in here. And an improving horse, I believe, as well, is the 6, Pride of Peyton. Got a really good ride. Good setup, and it's just going onward and upward right now for Tim Keefe.
I was tempted to put that one on my picks, but I just decided to go with the other 6-1 shot there on the inside. But there we have it with race number 8. Race number 9 is an allowance optional claiming $55,000, going a mile and 1/8 on the dirt for the 4-year-olds and up. Keith, let's go ahead and take a look at 8 Zabir Cold back from February 18th, from just the start into that first turn, and then we're going to see a cut later on.
Yeah, I mean, we're outside, okay, and we're going to be able to kind of go ahead and send up in there and get position early on a track that was okay for speed, the 18th of February. But Ain't the Beer Cold, he's a horse that also runs with a bar shoe sometimes on this off track. Maybe I'll ask you if you have any experience of riding horses, if that's a key factor on this off track. But he battles. I mean, you're right there in Nimitz class, and these kind of take this battle into the stretch. He gives way ever so grudgingly the last 1/8 of a mile. Got back on his game. We're going a mile and 1/8. Yeah, he's 0 for 4, but the flow really is going to be to his liking today, and I think he carries it in here.
Once he gets up there, if he does, and you kind of said it, once he gets up there in that flow, that's his biggest advantage here today. I'm just concerned a little bit about the distance here today. 0 for 4, going a mile and 1/8, but and alluding to the bar shoe situation, it depends what he has on him today, but with a bar shoe, you kind of want it for a little bit more of a cushiony effect. We have that sloppy sealed surface today. I don't think that if he happens to have bar shoes on, truly, I don't think it's going to affect him too much. Whatever horse is used to and is comfortable in, it's always going to, in my opinion, it's always going to be hard to deviate away. In those last-minute changes, they never tend to work out very well. So we'll see. But let's also talk about Treasure Trove, who you have on the rail for Norman Cash with JV on Toledo. Has won at this distance 3 for 10.
Yeah, his last 2 at a mile and 1/8. He's gotten the job done. A little flat at Parks last time out, inside and worked out 4 wide, no rally. Back Toledo stays on. He's done well with this guy to get that advantageous inside post here going the 2 turns at Laurel Park. So again, I don't think he's got quite as much speed. He needs to settle. Sometimes he can get a little keyed up, but if he does, I think he'll make a progression right into it and bounce back to one of those middle or higher 80 buyers for sure today. Accelerator, your top selection. Yeah, you can't leave out 2 really good tries off the claim here in the Nest Barn. Last time out, kind of took in a little bit of box, but carried him along with that slower flow. Irish Cork took plenty of play there for service, shifted out, very game. In the past, you look at his races, Cal, he might be able to kind of go up and prompt if he wants to. He's shown a couple races on his page where he's been forward, he's been on the lead. So interesting to see what kind of tactics Rodriguez takes in that opening 1/8 of a mile.
See, I think they got lucky. I think he got lucky being in that pocket trip last time out. And again, you go back to that Pimlico special in 2022. He was outmatched in that race, but still tried to make a gun for it, tried to press that pace, and it didn't work out for him going a little bit longer. So I think they keep the same tactics, and if they do, I'm just concerned about Ain't Beer Cold being strong enough on that pace going this distance where I think Accelerator can pick it right up. You and I both also have Armando R in the mix. Damon Deal DeVico second off of the layoff, but this one's 2 for 2 going a mile and 1/8.
Yeah, distance not an issue. What's going on in front of him? Is he going to get that help that he kind of needs? It takes him a while to get things going.
Race number 10, our last race here on this sloppy sealed Saturday, is a claiming 10,000, which have never won 2, going a 1-turn mile on the dirt for the girls 4 years old and up. Keith, you have the number 1 on top, Rational Millennial for Corrales and Brasino. Last time we saw this one was going short, so we go stretch from going short all the way to that 1-turn mile. Was entered at that claiming 40 back on the 4th of March, but was a vet scratch that day.
Yeah, this is, again, a little bit of a reach bailout time if you need it. But Corrales, when you least expect it, There he goes, and he's down in the winner's circle with Brasino at a price. So this one off the sprints. Holding court looks like the horse that's going to be able to control it up top for Kieran. Unfortunately, you're not going to get the 8-1 that you got with her last time. So she's the target. Maybe we can get this one into position, kind of stalk and maybe grind it out. It's a little bit of a reach, but offers some value. Certainly the 5, the horse to be Tor Bronca. I'm expecting to get back with a little bit of effort. I should have changed that. That's my bad, but that's okay. We'll go with the 1, 5, 2, 6 and leave it. Red Wine Time needs to break.
Red Wine Time does need to break, and maybe we'll all have some Red Wine Time after the races,
Yes.
and we are going to carry on to the lightning round. Keith, let's go ahead and touch on your best bet of the day. Let's start with that. And race number 3 on the number 6 long wrap sheet for Phil Capuano.
Yeah, it's been a while. They're attack mode right off the break. Some changes, getting Lasix, everything else. So I think if this horse comes out clean, he's going to be tough to catch. One thing we didn't touch upon in that race was Bandcamp. This horse is a half to hot-looking Royal who did win a debut, so I didn't get that in earlier, but I will use that horse in the exactas. We'll see if this 6 can pop the latches and just go with it. Value play, let's see here. 6th race, number 5, Savoy. We talked about. Okay, all or nothing here. This is a horse that's popped up and run some big races from off the pace, on and off track. Gets it today. See if he can revert to those ways.
We have a familiar face in the fall, kind of coming up into stuff. Of course, your Laurel Fraternity Stakes winner Congruent is third choice here in the Derby Prep over at Turfway Park in the Grade 3 Jeff Ruby Stakes. So a couple of scratches already to begin the day. So we're coming from, what's interesting is that this one won, of course, on a sloppy sealed surface. We're heading over to Turfway to where that one is on a synthetic surface. This one won at Turfway back on the 4th of March, going the mile and 16. Came from way off of the pace, uncharacteristically came from way off of the pace and ended up winning. So it'll be interesting to see. That race will be at 6:25 Eastern time there over at Turfway Park. And, of course, purse is $700,000 and is a Derby Prep on the way. And we are going to leave it to Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches.
Okay, good luck.